Greetings! Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we look at another indie game. This time we're checking out Rally Arcade Classics. This game was developed and published by NETK2 Games and is their breakout title. The game challenges the player to complete several different races across the world, including tours, rallies, time attacks and drift races. Now if that's not enough, there's also a number of different events regularly released by the developer, dozens of cars, and many hours of fun to be had here. Now I am not a big fan of racing games. I picked this up purely out of curiosity. There's not many good arcade racing experiences on Steam, and this game has converted me. I absolutely love it. So, we're going to check out my progress so far in Rally Arcade Classics. Now there are too many modes, cars and tracks for me to cover in a single video. So, we're going to focus on some of my favourite levels, and I'm going to show you some of the new cars in my collection. Starting with arcade mode and my brand new Wolf R rally car. Now the arcade mode is a simple set of races against AI opponents. It is, in my opinion, one of the weaker modes simply because the AI is a little bit too simplistic. They drive very slowly, they're very predictable, and they don't offer much of a challenge. But these levels are a great way to learn the capabilities of your cars and farm yourself a bit of money so you can get a hold of some of the better cars in the game. As you can see with my brand new Wolf rally car, we are running rings around these guys. Very nice. Time of 38 seconds, very impressive. Now in order to earn ourselves the cash prize, we have to come first in every race. And that's going to be pretty easy to do in my new car. Most of the AI opponents we can easily overtake, thanks to this car's excellent handling. Now some of the other modes in the game are far harder, of course. I'm going to show you some of the more powerful cars too. The Wolf is really good as an all-rounder, but it lacks some of the power we need in order to come first in some of the later races. Very nice. So we're halfway through. We've come first in 2 out of the 4 races. Now there are different conditions in the game. Here we have a dirt road. Thankfully the Wolf just eats these up. The handling on this car is excellent, even on these sharp turns. We can overtake most of the computer opponents with very little trouble. See you suckers. See how it's done. So we're only halfway through the race and we're already in the lead. All we're going to do is not choke. Very nice. Very respectable 48 seconds for that track. One more race. And we're going home with the gold. Now the last race is going to be a little bit more challenging because of the rain. We're going to need to be a little bit more careful, especially on our corners. Wet conditions do drastically affect the difficulty of the race. And because the computer drives so slowly, it's not really going to affect them. We can kind of use this to our advantage. Whoops. as we overtake some of the other cars. You want to try and use your handbrake on the turns a bit too. There we go, that's better. And that's a solid win for us. 4 races, first place, 500 credits. So now let's check out some of the other cars and modes in the game. Time to have a bit of fun with Drift mode. Now this mode has us trying to get the biggest, fattest drift we can in the least amount of time. And I'm trying one of the hardest levels in the game, so I brought one of my best cars, the Peugeot 6. Now this car is great for drifting because it's got very, very high acceleration. But this level is brutal because there's just so much stuff to crash into. Walls, rocks, it's a very narrow track, it's very, very perilous. In fact, it's probably one of the hardest levels in the game, even to race regularly, let alone trying to drift down here. Now to get this eye-watering 13,000 drift points, it's going to be very, very hard. Because as you can see, there's just so much stuff we have to watch, which is a little bit hard when you're trying to send your car sideways around a corner. We're doing okay though. Very nice. 7,000 points. Keep it coming, son. Okay, we got a little bit over 4,000 points we have to get. I reckon we can do it. We got to hurry up though. We've got 20 seconds to go, so we're going to punch it. Hope we can pick up the points on the way. Oh, I think we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Yeehaw! The elusive Gold Cup. Now I've been trying that for days, so that was a perfect one to get for the video. Drift is really a fun mode, but you're going to have a really good car to be able to do some of the harder levels. Absolutely love this mode because it's a great way to wind down after you're trying some of the more difficult races by just getting your car sideways and going on a tear and having a bit of fun. We're going to check out one of the other game modes now, and another one of my cars. Time to check out my favourite mode in the game, Rally. Here we get to spend the money that we've earned through completing races on new cars. Then we can take them on a test drive in tracks around the world. Now, if we're able to place first in each of the different races, we will earn a very nice cash bonus, which we can then use to buy even more cars. Now, rally mode is pretty challenging. Getting first place is going to be very difficult without one of the better cars in the game. So it's one of those modes I like to return to once I've got a little bit more practice and some better cars. The Peugeot 6 is going to go very well in this race though. And I reckon we'll claim first place no problem. Beautiful. Very nice time, 41 seconds. But keeping in mind we have to place first in all 6 races to earn the prize. Now, there are 3 different types of race in the rally mode. Regular race, then there's the classic mode, where you get to try all the more fancy cars, and the off-road race. And we're going to try all 3. Now we're doing quite well. Who knows, with all the money we make, I may even be able to add another car to my collection at the end of the video. Not too bad.
3, 2, 1, go, go!
Now this car does struggle a little bit on dirt roads. It doesn't have traction as good as the Wolf.
Easy right. Checkpoint. Medium right.
But
Attention.
I've had a bit of practice driving this car.
Checkpoint. Medium left. Medium right.
Here we go, we're doing quite well.
Attention.
Not too bad. A time that's less than 40 seconds. And another first place.
3, 2, 1, go, go! Medium left.
Now it is really fun to try all the different cars.
Medium
And there's so many in the game. It's going to take you many, many hours to get all of them.
Attention. Attention.
And because the maps are broken up into different types, you're going to want a couple of cars for driving on dirt. You're going to want a drift car. You're going to want a rally car. It is a good idea to have a bit of a range of different cars in your garage so you can tackle all of the different types of maps and missions.
Hard right. Medium right.
This car's a nice all-rounder,
Medium right.
which is why I purchased it. But some of the big muscle cars, the cars that have high acceleration, are perfect for races.
Right. Medium left.
And cars with lower acceleration but better handling are great for these dirt maps
Medium right.
or for drifting.
Medium left. Medium right. Medium right.
Oop, that was a hard turn.
Easy left. Easy right. Medium left. Medium
And we've claimed first place once more.
finish.
Very nice. So we're actually almost 12 seconds ahead of the next competitor. The next time, we've got a comfortable lead.
3, 2, 1, go, go! Medium left.
Now, one thing I should mention, the game does have force feedback.
Easy left.
I'm playing with my PlayStation controller,
Medium
which
right.
does have force feedback enabled, so it does work really well with the game. In fact, I do recommend that you do play this with a controller. Keyboard and mouse, you're really going to struggle.
Easy right.
Oh, that's a tight turn.
Attention.
But the game works great with controller,
Easy
and I'd be
right.
very, very excited to see how this game goes on console.
Easy left.
I'd love to play this game on console.
Hard left.
While this goes great on Steam, I think it would be even better suited to something like a PlayStation.
Medium right. Medium left. Easy right.
It would be great to play with some of my friends.
Attention. Easy left. Attention.
Now, in terms of graphics in the presentation of the game, it's a very neat little package too.
Easy right.
Obviously, it's not going to compete with some of the bigger
Medium right.
car racing franchises out there, but I think where the biggest strength of this game is that it's just a really, really good little overall package. It's very accessible, especially for someone like me who doesn't play a lot of these games.
Hard left.
Ooh, that's a tight one.
Right. Medium left. Medium
Didn't hit that corner very well, but we're still first place.
finish.
We got a very comfortable lead. Now, one thing I do have to mention with the game is the sound design. You probably nearly had your ears blown out. Certain sounds in the game aren't normalized, and you can't change them in the options of the game. So particularly the sound of crowds, I can't change that even with the game turned right down.
Medium right. Easy left. Easy right.
Not a huge deal, but something that is a bit of a pain.
Medium right. Attention.
Okay.
Easy left.
Now this is the last track. If we can... Whoop, if we can truly pull this off, we will earn ourselves a very nice chunk of change.
Medium right.
But the weather conditions are very bad. We've got fog, we've got a wet track.
Medium left. Checkpoint.
We are first place though.
Attention. Medium right. Medium left. Medium right. Easy left.
Now it's very easy to spin out on this track.
Hard right.
Got to be very, very careful. Always each rally level, rally race, the last track is always brutal. Like they pull out all the stops.
Medium right. Medium left. Medium right.
That was a bad mistake on my part. I hope it hasn't
Attention.
cost me the race.
Medium right.
We've done almost perfectly in every other race, so I think we're going to be okay.
Attention.
Ooh, okay. I think we got this. Very nice. So while that wasn't my best run, still earned a fat chunk of change, and now we can check out the other rally modes. We're going to finish the video by taking on one of the hardest rally races, the Group WRC. And we're going to use my best car, the Suffolk WRC. Now, while this car is extremely good at acceleration, it's also extremely poor at handling. This thing can reach eye-watering speeds. The problem is, it handles like a brick on a leash.
Medium right.
And I have not fully mastered this car,
Left. Checkpoint.
so I figured why not try one of the hardest levels in the game? What could possibly go wrong?
Medium right.
You've really got to have your braking and turning on point to use this car,
Left.
but it is perfect for breaking records. Particularly the time trials levels. You got to use this car to have any chance of success. First race, 35 seconds. Very, very good time.
3, 2, 1. Go, go.
Now we want to get really good scores on the first few levels because the last level in the rally is brutal.
Medium right.
And I doubt I'll be able to come first.
Easy right. Checkpoint.
But if overall our score is high enough, it won't matter.
Medium left. Easy left.
Oh, that was a good handbrake turn. Perfect.
Checkpoint. Medium right. Medium right.
Another good handbrake turn. Beautiful.
Easy left.
Starting to get the hang of using the brakes on this thing.
Finish.
37 seconds, very, very good. Now I've only got a few second lead. This is one of the hardest rallies in the game. Coming first is going to be very, very hard. We're going to have to come first in
Medium.
5 out of the 6 races.
Easy right.
And this thing is very, very hard to drive.
Checkpoint. Medium right. Medium right.
Can't help but love this car though.
Medium left.
And that's the thing about the game. It's all about learning the different cars, how they handle.
Medium right.
which ones are good for which race. Beautiful. Not my best time, but 30 seconds, very respectable. 3 down, 3 to go.
Medium left. Medium right. Medium left.
And once you master the cars, you can come back, challenge your early scores,
Attention.
earn some money from some of the races, buy better cars.
Medium left.
The Suffolk is definitely the best car out of all of them,
Medium left.
but I do plan to complete my collection.
Easy left.
The cars in this game, like Pokemon, got to catch them all.
Right. Medium right.
And some of them you can't even buy, you can only get them by completing certain challenges, which I love.
Attention. Easy left. Easy right. Medium left. Medium left. Checkpoint.
Oh, look at that, textbook turn.
Medium right.
Love it.
Medium left. Medium right.
That's how it's done, son.
Medium right.
A little bit too much stank on that turn.
Easy right. Medium left. Medium right. Finish.
Beautiful. Roll across the line. Now we've built a bit of a lead. We've got a 6-second lead. Not a lot of time though.
Medium left.
Now, what do I like about this game? Well, first of all, it's the accessibility. You don't need to be an expert racing enthusiast to enjoy the game.
Right.
It has just the right mix of arcade
Hard right.
and challenge. The thing about these games sometimes is they go all in on the realism,
Easy left.
and then for someone who doesn't play a lot of racing games,
Checkpoint.
it's a bit hard for me to get on board with. And I think this game's got just the right mix of challenge. Oh, well, I kind of messed that turn up.
Left. Medium right. Medium left. Easy right.
The other thing too is the replayability. There's so many levels and cars and stuff to unlock in this game. You're going to be playing for many, many hours. As I said, 10 hours in the game.
Easy right.
Still unlocking more stuff. I've only scratched the surface, so much more to find.
Medium right. Easy left. Easy right.
I would really like to see a console release for this game.
Attention. Easy left.
The only thing is that if you are going to be playing this game, you're absolutely going to want a controller.
Easy right.
You know, mouse and keyboard is not going to cut it for this. I'm using my trusty PlayStation controller. So I think that's the only thing you're going to have to keep in mind. Very nice. First place again. So we've actually comfortably got a 10-second lead now. The other thing I like about the game is most of the races are very quick and snappy. You're looking at maybe 1 or 2 minutes for each race.
Medium right.
You don't need to have a huge amount of time. You can pick up your controller,
Medium left.
bang out a race or two, and then put it down.
Medium right.
It's a very casual game. Well, in terms of racing games anyway.
Easy right.
Probably casual's the wrong word to use, but you know what I mean.
Medium right. Attention.
I really like it. And that's high praise coming from someone who doesn't play a lot of racing games.
Attention.
We're doing quite well in this race. I'm very, very happy.
Right. Hard right.
Spun out a little bit there, but could be worse.
Checkpoint.
Still first place.
Right. Attention. Medium right. Medium left. Medium right.
Looking good, looking good.
Easy left. Easy left.
Dodge the rocks. Barely.
Hard right.
Lost a lot of speed there. Didn't wrap it round a tree though. Just a concrete post. It'll buff right out.
Medium left. Medium right. Easy left. Attention. Medium right.
I kind of bounced off that post. I was lucky that way. I mean, it is an arcade game and there's not really much damage that happens to your car if you hit something. Ooh, a 4th place. Will that cost me the win though? It did not. Because I did so well in the other 5 races. We've got an overall time. There's 6 minutes and 29 seconds. And a cool 5,000 credits. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the game. I've really been enjoying it. As I said, the biggest strengths of the game are in the fact that it's very accessible for someone that is less experienced with a racing game, such as me. There's not many good arcade experiences on Steam. It plays very well. There's a lot of different levels and modes and challenges. There's a lot of replayability to the game. As I said, I'm only 10 hours in, and as you can see, I've unlocked maybe a third of the content in the game, if that. There's plenty to experience here, and I think racing enthusiasts are really going to like it. But the only thing you have to be aware of is that this is at its core an arcade racing game. So if you're looking for something more of like a Colin McRae rally, something with all the bells and whistles and realism, this isn't the game for you. But if you want a game that is a really nice, accessible experience, something you can pick up and enjoy for 5 minutes, 10 minutes and put it down again, this is the perfect choice. I've really enjoyed it, and as someone that doesn't play these sort of games and is not a huge racing game enthusiast, that's the highest praise I can give. So a big thank you to the developer. If you liked the video, leave me a like, leave me a subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully you join me next time when we check out another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.